Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Wow. This is okay. Is this an illustration? So what it is an image where the background is just pure white and the foreground, it's almost like an illustration or a painting or an image because the detail is amazing of these two birds of prey. I don't know them well enough to say with confidence if they're hawks or some kind of raptor.
I'd have to look it up myself because I don't have the photos in front of me.
So it's these two, it's a pair, these very dark, maybe they're kind of eagle. It looks like a photograph, but it could also easily be an incredible illustration of these two birds on this very, very old piece of wood that has no bark on it. It's just very weathered. They're both looking, to the right, I guess, and you could see their beaks with the sharpness of the beak, and you see the talons, and it's very, very dramatic. Why would we start with this image?
Those are Harris hawks.
Harris hawks. Okay. What? I don't know. I know nothing about Harris hawks. School me.
Okay. Harris hawks are a type of hawk. They are native to the southern part of North America, Mexico, and down into South America. And they are the only birds of prey that are social.
Oh.
And
what?
Yeah, birds of prey are not social animals.
But I thought I've seen tons of eagles congregating together. Or are they just feeding together, but they're not social?
Not feeding together. They are not socializing.
Ah.
They do not form flocks at all. In fact, that's very unnatural behavior to have them all at once, except in certain feeding grounds.
Right.
We've got bald eagles here in Oklahoma, and there's a spot down below a dam where fish come over the dam and they're stunned, and that's where the bald eagles come to feed.
Right.
But that's an unnatural situation.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, what happens is birds of prey pair off. Some mate for life, some don't. Some, like Cooper's hawks, are little sluts.
Hey, this is a kid's show. It's a kid's show. No, I'm just joking. It's not a kid's show. It's not a kid's show. That's great. I love it.
Sluts. They are sluts. Oh, man. Because not only will the male, once the female is established in the nest, not only will the male go off and try and say, hey, baby, to a bunch of other females who may be on other nests.
Yeah.
But other males will come visit her.
Ah, got it.
Sluts.
Well, it keeps the genetic pool very, very rich.
It certainly does. But those are Harris hawks, and they not only mate for life, but they are social birds, and they work in groups. It's usually a family group, although there are a bunch of falconers from Louisiana who have Harris hawks, that the only time the birds ever see each other is when everybody goes out to a falconry meet, and they put the birds up together, and the birds hunt together cooperatively. Okay. That's what's really amazing about them. They will hunt together cooperatively, which is especially good on very tough prey like a jackrabbit.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the Louisiana Arclight Squad in action hunting jackrabbits, which are really tough. And the birds will go up in the air, and any other bird, if you put other birds of prey up in the air, one of them would end up as a meal for the other.
Okay.
It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. But they put the Harris hawks up in the air, and the first hawk will, once the prey is flushed, the first hawk will make his dive. The second hawk is already lining up. The first hawk comes in, his feet are what they call fisted, where the talons are all curled up inside the foot. And he will knock that jackrabbit on the back of the head and send it tumbling and bounce up off the recoil momentum and get out of the way so the jack doesn't kick him. The second hawk is already halfway down there. He'll do the same thing. And only when the jack stops kicking and is stunned will the hawk come in and actually make the kill.
Wow.
And then they'll share the food. That's really wow. That's a big thing.
No, it is. I mean, I'm learning. I mean, this is great.
The reason I sent you that is because I kind of feel like Larry and I are a pair of Harris Hawks.
Okay. Why is that? How so? Who's the jackrabbit?
Books.
Okay.
Stalking our books, and we are killing our books.
Yeah. All I can do, and it's an experiment in human dynamics or connection, because I specifically don't research in advance who I'm going to talk to, because I like the sort of the chemistry of just meeting and talking to somebody. And here are some of the things that I've noticed. One is that you have a very perceptive way about you. Like, knowing, for example, being so sensitive to birds and to commit to rescuing them says a lot about the kind of person you are in terms of your empathy. And I felt it. I felt it in our conversation already that you're deeply empathic. And then you send me this other image of these two Harris Hawks, and you've got a solid grasp of the knowledge of the background. And so I'm kind of hearing a little bit that you're an author of sorts, which I think is why we connected. And so I'm sort of thinking, like, are you a scientific writer? Are you... Yeah, I'm really interested in understanding how your brain works.
I've written 145 books, mostly fantasy, and they're all but one is published by a traditional publisher.
Okay. Maybe I'm slow. You've written 145. 145 books.
Yep. That's what I do.
That's one of the many things you do, such as beyond rescuing raptors and beyond caring for a house full of animals. 145 books.
Yep. Been published since 1982. And I am extraordinarily lucky to be one of the few people that can make a living from this.
You are extraordinarily impressive. That's amazing. Okay, so for somebody who's listening, well, how do we communicate that essence of Mercedes R Lackey? Who, am I saying your name incorrectly?
Oh, no, that's correct.
Okay. How do we communicate the essence of you that drives you? Because to write that many books, you are driven.
Pretty much, if you're going to make a living out of this, actually, if you're going to do more than just try to write a book, there's a thing in you that says, I have these stories they must get out of me and I must write them.
A compulsion.
Very much a compulsion. You couldn't do this day in, day out for, what is it, since 1982? That's 40 years. Couldn't do that for 40 years if you weren't compelled to write. And I was writing what we would call fan fiction now. They didn't have a name for it when I was a kid. But I was writing fan fiction back when I was I think I started when I was like 11 or 12.
Oh, wow. I'm still trying to get my head around this. You've written 145 books. Yeah. Okay, wait. How long is each book?
Some of them are with collaborators.
Okay.
Which is usually faster than alone, but.
Oh, well, for sure. And if you could put an average number, 75, 100, 200 pages.
They're usually around between 100,000 and 120,000 words. We've had a
Wow.
couple that were bigger than that. We've got a superhero series I did with some collaborators where the average size of the book was 250,000 words.
What is that in pages, page count, roughly? I don't know. Sorry.
Well, that's the thing. Page count is not what a publisher goes on, because
Okay.
it'll vary on your manuscript depending upon what font you use and what font size you use. And
Sure.
it'll vary in the printed version, again, depending upon what type they use and what typeface they use and whether or not it's a hardback or a paperback.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would say it's a pretty standard size for a fantasy book.
Yeah, like 175 pages, roughly, I'm assuming. I mean,
Something like about 200 pages in a book.
Mercedes, I'm in court with a master. That's amazing.
Well,
Respect.
I just got named a SIFWA Grand Master this year, so
Okay, well, there we go.
that's the Science Fiction Writers of Association, and Grand Mastership is over a body of work rather than an award for a specific work.
Right. Okay, well, now we can move on to the next photo because I'm dying to figure it out. It's going to be something bonkers. I know it's going to be something crazy.
Probably, since you didn't know what I did for a living, yeah, you'll find it very crazy.
Well, look, it's more about, it's really two people meeting and exchanging in a conversation, knowledge and learning and having, I mean, maybe the format is ridiculous and dumb, but some people really love it. So.
Then it's not dumb.
Okay.
If people like it, it's not dumb. Some people think romances are dumb, but romance is the best-selling category in all of literature, so...
Yes, yes. So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.